Hi, Leo, or anyone watching for Leo. This is a love and general reading for the month of December. I'm just going to read whatever comes out, and anything else you need to know about the reading is in the description box. So, Leo, starting off, you got the World in the reverse, the Hierophant in the reverse. You've been doing a lot of thinking. I feel like there's something here that's not been getting off the ground the way that you want it to. I see that you were really invested in a thing or really desiring a thing. This looks to me like you've decided to try to go back and fix something that perhaps was not working. But this is after a period of you taking some time to try to figure out the role that you were playing in this situation versus the role that the other person was playing. So this could definitely be in regards to love. Perhaps you've decided to try to pay attention to someone again that has disappointed you in the past. This could also be you going back to like a way of life or trying something again that did not work out despite your efforts. But what I really like about this is that you took the time to figure out like what role are you playing? What are you bringing to the table? What do you need to fix about the way that you're showing up for whatever this is? So for some of you with this Hierophant in the reverse, this could be talking about like maybe you started a business and you felt like you weren't getting the results you wanted. So you took a step back and you really assessed it. Like, have I been showing up every day? If so, how often? Am I doing the necessary advertising? And so it looks like you really kind of restructured your plan. I like that a lot because you didn't just throw away all the work. It looks like you didn't get into a space of like playing the victim or being like, oh, nothing ever works for me. You went about this in a very, very analytical fashion. So I think that's really good. I also think, as far as if this is for love, you've been working on like anything that could keep you from having a healthy relationship. So for some of you, you're not going back to a specific person, but you're going out into the world and you're starting to date after a period of like working on yourself. And this could be due to a separation that you encountered where you felt like you were trying really hard, but perhaps your partner was not, or they were just really, really triggering to you with their behavior. And instead of trying to change this person, it looks like you really just kind of maybe went silent for some of you and decided to do some work on yourself. So very wise, what I'm seeing here. You're not putting a lot of effort into trying to manipulate other people or to change the situations around you. You're more focused on how can you show up in the way that you need to be able to create what you're trying to get, right? That end result. I feel like, though, as you're returning back to your life or whatever the situation is, you are not the same as you were. And I'm seeing that very strongly. It could be because you suffered a lot of disappointment around this situation. So I think you're trying to go about doing things a different way, which I kind of said that, but this is different. This is something else. This is like you may be looking at the materials that you have to work with, right? And thinking, I need to upgrade. I need to fix something about this. Because there's something here where it's like, even though you've assessed the situation and what you're bringing to the table and going back to it, you realize you still have the desire for whatever it is, but there's still like kind of that disappointment or the goal not being realized, whether it's the relationship, the reconciliation, the finances, whatever, right? And so after a period of thinking, I think you're starting to really question like the system, right? Not just you, but like the parameters that are defining the situation as well as the people. There's something here about you really assessing like, okay, I've been bringing my A game. I'm still not seeing results. Maybe this is the flaw. Maybe the flaw is in the system. Maybe the flaw is in the materials that I have or the people that I'm including or working with, right? The obstacle within your situation is the Hermit in the reverse. So that's kind of the energy of like, are you going to beat a dead horse? Because I see that you're recognizing that some of the things that are not working are completely out of your control. And it might be time, right? For some of you, you were just like on a vacation and you were feeling really stressed about work. So you thought maybe if I go to like the Bahamas for a week and come back, I'll feel better and I'll have more patience. But then you get back there and you realize that everything is just chaotic, right? And so you're kind of realizing like, no matter how I show up in this situation, there's so much about this that's out of my hands that maybe I need to do something else. Maybe I need to be somewhere else, right? So I feel like while you were on your break, you got a lot of clarity and you tried really hard to come at this with a fresh perspective. But the problem is that in that time, not only have you changed, but the circumstances of whatever this is have not. And so I feel like, again, you're being very rational and you're assessing how much more time do I need to put into this? Have I done everything that I could possibly do around this, right? Because you have the wisdom to understand you can't control anybody but yourself, right? And so even if you upgrade yourself, if you adopt a new mindset, you could read a million self-help books, the people around you or the structure of the environment you're in, if you have like a crappy job, that may not get on your level. It might be that it's just time to do something else. And I feel like this situation is probably one of the main things in your life that's not working out, if not the only thing. Outside of that, though, it looks like you have success in other areas of your life. So, if anything, let that be very eye-opening to you and perhaps do some comparing and contrasting of like, okay, what about this doesn't work when everything else that I show up to works? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's like the one thing that is sticking out in a way that it's like, okay, if everybody tells you the same thing, you could probably guess like there's a grain of truth to this. If all these people that don't know me always say the same thing or do the same thing, maybe that's their reaction to me. But if in other areas of your life it looks like everything is going well, except for this specific situation or this specific relationship with this person, that person would probably be the minority, right? So it very well could be something about them as a person, where they're projecting on you or they're messing with your energy, because it seems like you're in a good space, right? It seems like outside of this, life is pretty decent for you guys. As I'm looking at what you've got going on, unfortunately, I feel like you guys are kind of falling into the trap this month of wanting to recoup your losses, in the sense that if this doesn't materialize the way you want it to, there's kind of that deficit of like time spent or energy given or love given. And so it's hard to just pack it up, move on, because you're trying very hard to be brave. I almost feel like you're trying to face this head on, like, if I want this bad enough, if I work hard enough. But what I'll say about that with this Ace of Pentacles in reverse and some of the things I'm seeing here, this may just not be the opportunity for you. You get what I'm saying? Because with the Hierophant in the reverse, there's something here that I think if you really sat and thought about it for quite a while, you would realize that you probably don't really want to be aligned with this thing, whatever it is. So like, say it's a person and you're trying so hard to get them to be a better version of themselves or to like understand the value of the connection, right? What I'm seeing here is like, even if this person was showing up for you full time, I want you to take a look at how much you've grown since you've been dealing with this person versus where they're at right now, so that you can kind of say to yourself, like, if I'm with this situation or with this person, even if they show up every day, they're only bringing a very small amount of energy to the table, right? I'm still the one having to go 80 while they're doing 20. You get what I'm saying? So it's very frustrating because oftentimes we're taught like, oh, well, if you work on yourself, your environment will match your vibe. That is true, but it just may not be the people that you are focusing on that will match your vibe. It might be that those people fall away, or that job falls away, and then something better comes along, right? But if you're really busy looking back and thinking like, okay, I just have to try harder, I have to do more, I have to get on a better schedule, right? You might miss out on that opportunity that's coming, because I see with the universe, they're actually working the Page of Pentacles in the reverse energy for you. So this is being delayed, right? And I think that's because you're getting an opportunity to really assess, like, if you got what you wanted, would you want it forever? Or is it just more about like the validation of getting it? You get what I'm saying? Like, if you've been dealing with somebody and they show up like a bum, but then they love you and they show up every day, but they still show up like a bum, right? What have you accomplished? What have you acquired of value? Now you got a full-time bum to take care of. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like you're being given time to kind of reassess this month what you want versus what your ego wants. You get what I'm saying? Because it is very gratifying for someone to finally recognize your value. Unfortunately, though, if you're dealing with someone who only takes and they recognize your value, you might be in for a wild ride because now this person sees you as the goose with the golden egg. You get what I mean? So maybe it's for the best that this job, this person, this relationship isn't panning out, or they're not seeing all that you've invested. They'd simply squander that or just keep using you because someone in this situation is representing themselves as being something that they're not, as being something that you would like to be aligned with, even though I don't believe that's the truth, right? Somebody could be coming in and making it seem like this is the job you want, this is the relationship you want, you just have to work a little more. But I think as time goes on this month, you're going to be looking at the situation and thinking like, why did I work so hard? I'm never going to recoup my losses in this situation if things stay the same. You get what I'm saying? Your advice is the 3 of Cups. So I feel like you're being urged to probably take a minute away from this. It looks like you're supposed to be doing more with people in your life, outside of whatever this situation is or outside of whoever this person is, because there's an energy here of perhaps your next opportunity or your next relationship coming from a situation where you're out, you're having fun with friends. It's a temporary situation, so it wouldn't be something like work or school. This is more you just meeting up, hanging out, and kind of relaxing, enjoying yourself, and releasing your attachment to this, not being focused on whatever this is. And then that's when the opportunity comes in of like, oh, hey, Leo, my job is hiring and they start off at 80 grand a year. Whereas you've been in this $30,000 a year job trying to prove your worth, right? Or that's when somebody's like, oh, hey, Leo, my cousin is in town and they saw your picture on my wall and thought you were super hot. Are you single? You get what I'm saying? There's an energy here of you not getting what you want because what you want is actually not what you deserve. Okay. Now, as I'm reading these messages for love, it looks to me as though somebody could be exiting a relationship. This would be someone from your past. It feels like this person wants to be with you, right? There's an energy here of someone making the decision that they want to try again. They want to wipe this slate clean. The obstacle as far as this person goes is that they have a tendency to disappear. And I think what's really frustrating about it is like they don't communicate with you why they feel the need to do that. They don't explain. There's not really any warning here. Whereas you're the kind of person who shows up very solid, very invested. This person just kind of checks out, right? Even if you've been in a relationship with this person, for those of you who are in a committed relationship, there's a real frustration here around your person going really hard and then just completely giving up. Like they're very, very wishy-washy, right? There's an energy of feeling as though for some of you, your person that you desire or that you're thinking of really struggles with being codependent. And that's coming through very strongly. It's to the point where if you don't move the way this person expects you to move, or you don't validate them the way that they want you to, they get very triggered and they search for external validation somewhere else, right? And so I feel like for you, you could try to do this again. I see this person really wanting to come back and kind of rehash what happened in the past. But I almost feel like you could be doing something different. For some of you, you've already started dating. You've met a couple of people that you're like, hey, these people seem decent or they have potential or I'd have a second date, whatever, right? There's someone in your environment that doesn't want to be by themselves, but they also don't really want to see you move on either. And I'm going to let you know that this person is coming back to you after a period of like not only being incredibly silent, but it looks like trying to do something with someone else and it not working out. So it's possible that this person could have just experienced a breakup, or it's very possible this person could be on a break from someone else. So just be careful about that, because I feel like you've been doing a lot of work on you. So you really don't need somebody that's wishy-washy or in and out of a different connection and kind of using you to supplement their downtime, right? Let's just clarify this. World, yeah, okay. So it could be an Aquarius, but I'm also seeing like Virgo. I'm seeing lots of earth energy. So Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo again. You have water, you have Aries as well, and perhaps Gemini for signs. But there's an energy of somebody wanting a reconciliation with you. The hard part is, I feel like because you're not communicating with this person at this time, it's difficult to know what their angle is or why they're coming back around. I also think that you view this person different than you did when you were with them. All right, so you won't trust this because this person really left you on your own to have to figure things out. I do feel like you might give this a second look, right? You might go back and kind of think about the good old days or how you felt about this person in the past. I would say just be very mindful of not allowing this person to suck you into maybe their like pity party, or there's something about this person where they're like persuasive. They get you to try to see their perspective, but it costs you like your rationale or your analytical like composure because you get sucked in to this person emotionally. I think this is someone who's very good at playing on your heartstrings. For those of you who have wanted someone to come back and you feel like it's taking forever, that's by design. The universe is wanting you to explore your options so that you can see what else could be out there for you. And if you're like, oh, but this is my person, okay, well, also look at the way that they've treated you, because here you are doing 75% of the work and they can't even pay attention or be grateful or show up their 25%, right? I feel like this month you're going to get an opportunity to kind of decide what you want, because I am seeing you making a decision. I feel like for the majority of you, you're going to look at this person and you're going to think about all the things that you want. And you're going to be very clear with yourself about whether or not they could actually come from this person, because this person is still struggling. And I'll just put it like that. If this person has had an addiction, it's possible they're still addicted to something. If they have like codependency, toxic behavior, if they're in and out of relationships with their ex or other people, this person is not much different. So I'm sorry to like disappoint you. The only thing that they do know is that they want to be with you. And I don't know how you feel about that. When I'm looking into your advice for this situation, you're being advised to treat this as something that could be temporary. But also, if you really do want something with this person, I feel like you'd have to completely start from ground zero. So perhaps work on trying to build a stronger foundation, because it feels like there isn't one, right? And even if you had one in the past, whatever this person did to you, it just completely obliterated that. So don't allow them to just come in and pick up where they left off, right? You would do well to give this some time, right? Assess how you feel about this person. Maybe decide what the end result you're looking for is before you get involved. Because if you want to be in a relationship with somebody that you like super duper trust, this might not be the candidate for you, or if you're trying to get into a relationship in the next few weeks, this person, if you do what you probably should do, which is make this person kind of prove to you that they deserve a spot in your life, that's going to take longer than the few weeks, right? So don't set yourself up for failure. Like, okay, if this person can prove to me in 3 weeks that they're my person, I'm going to be with them. Just say to yourself, like, hey, I want to be in a relationship. I don't know that this person is where it's at for me, because I feel like it would take them longer to show me why I can trust this. You get what I'm saying? Be very careful, because I'm not seeing any swords outside of this Queen of Swords in the reverse, and that's kind of a liar. Somebody lying about why things didn't work in the past, somebody misrepresenting themselves in your life now. There's still that element of too many people being involved. I'm seeing lots of things that are making me feel like wherever they were, they weren't happy. So they're just kind of testing the waters with you. I do feel like this person loves you, but I also feel like they're kind of full of crap. Okay. And if you are watching for Leo, then this is your Leo I'm talking about, and it's not you. So don't get in the comments and be like, how dare you? Because these readings oftentimes will sound like I'm talking about your person to you, regardless of who you are. Okay. All right. For your love messages, you got time. You're trying too hard. Give it time. My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we're always united. For love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. So, like I said, this person coming in the Two of Cups, they care about you, but they're committed somewhere else. I just got to tell you that this person isn't available, and even if they say that they are, I feel like you will later on find out that whatever they're offering you, they've either also offered to someone else or it's not even theirs to give, right? You can't really be in a relationship if you're on a break from somebody with the expectation you're going to go back to each other. You also got, when it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of love and life. Bottom of your deck, freedom. There's nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. So that really is that Fool energy, right? I think it's kind of time to start holding people accountable, because I see that you are very focused on how you can be better for what's going on around you. But people need to get on your level, or they need to go do something else. You get what I mean? All right, you got block out distractions for your career and finance card. It says your life purpose and other priorities need your undivided attention. So it's time for you to take charge of your schedule and working environment by turning off electronics and avoiding anyone or anything that distracts you from what's important. You already know what these distractions are, and you have the power to responsibly block them out. So yeah, this person I feel like would be a for sure distraction if you're meeting people that seem like they're actually on your level, or if you're trying really hard to build a life that's stable. And this person's energy is just all over the place, and that is the exact opposite of what you're bringing to the table, right? So I would say maybe treat this person like a distraction, right? Or a hindrance at the very least in getting what you want. All right, you got watch your thoughts. It's important to only think about what you desire, not what you fear. So for those of you who are very afraid of starting something new, your advice is actually saying that you should be excited at this time. Like you're closing out some really big cycles in your life, but with that World in the reverse, Hermit in the reverse, there's an energy of being a little bit fearful of what that'll look like. And when we get in that mode, it's very easy to go back to what we know, even if it's not in our highest good. Your self-care card for the month is rejuvenation. Get a good night's sleep, rejuvenate your body, mind, and spirit. So I feel like it's time for you guys to kind of disconnect, maybe to go back into hermit mode for a little bit. You don't need to make a decision right now about any of this. In all honesty, you could just take your time and really kind of sleep on it, or wait until you're in a better space, right? Please try not to rush into anything this month, because it feels like whoever this is with the Two of Cups, Tower reversed energy, they could be trying to gloss over things this month, make it seem like things are better than they are. And if you get caught up in that, you're going to find yourself in a situation very similar to something that it looks like you've dealt with in the past. All right, Leo, this is your messages for the month. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.